Alexander Rossi, representing Ed Carpenter Racing, made his presence felt from the very start on Wednesday morning during the IndyCar Open Test at Phoenix Raceway. The American driver headed out determined to set the tone and quickly found a strong rhythm, posting his best lap in the number 20 Chevrolet on just his fifth run around the 1 mile oval, making it clear that the team arrived ready to contend. Right behind him was Team Penske's Joseph Newgarden, highly competitive throughout the session and consistently challenging the benchmark times. Meanwhile, Alex Palou of Chip Ganassi Racing remained constantly in the fight for the top positions, confirming the usual consistency of the Spanish champion. For much of the 3 hours of track activity, the three drivers set the pace of the day and drew most of the attention at the top of the timing sheets. Tuesday's fastest driver, David Malukas, once again showed strong pace and finished among the front runners, closely followed by Pato O'Ward, who delivered an intense late session charge. Kyle Kirkwood also stayed competitive within the leading group, while Christian Rasmussen, Rossi's teammate, managed to remain among the quickest until O'Ward's late improvement reshuffled the order in the decisive final minutes. On the other hand, Mick Schumacher continued making important progress in adapting both to oval racing and to IndyCar machinery. In his second day at Phoenix, he looked far more confident and consistent, finishing very close to the performance of his Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing teammate Lewis Foster, who ended up as the team's internal benchmark. The day also featured a recovery story for Caio Collet. After the incident he suffered on Tuesday afternoon, the AJ Foyt racing driver returned to the track with determination and completed a positive session, placing himself within the overall classification. His teammate Santino Ferrucci rounded out the day by completing the team's running order. The session left a clear impression. Teams have begun to reveal their true pace, with speeds increasing lap after lap, setting the stage for a season that promises intensity, constant battles, and ever tighter margins on the Phoenix Oval.
Interesting. I think I'll have to be racing them to say if I like him. It's obviously, I think, a very different type of racing, something I need to get used to, and I'm excited to learn.
The IndyCar Open Test at Phoenix Raceway delivered 2 intense days of on-track action, with Chevrolet emerging as the main protagonist and Alexander Rossi finishing as the benchmark of the test after leading Wednesday's sessions for Ed Carpenter Racing. On Tuesday, the fastest driver had been David Malukas, confirming the strong overall start from teams powered by the brand. Rossi praised the team's performance after completing its planned program and also highlighted the competitiveness of his teammate Christian Rasmussen's car, who finished among the main challengers. Several regular championship contenders followed behind, with Alex Palou as the top Honda representative ahead of Will Power, Marcus Armstrong and Scott Dixon within the leading group. Track activity was marked by changing weather conditions, including wind, heavy cloud cover and intermittent rain that appeared especially during the latter part of Wednesday. Even so, drivers agreed that results should be analysed with caution, as each team worked through different testing plans and setups, not necessarily chasing outright performance. The IndyCar Open Test at Phoenix Raceway delivered 2 intense days of on-track action, with Chevrolet emerging as the main protagonist and Alexander Rossi finishing as the benchmark of the test after leading Wednesday's sessions for Ed Carpenter Racing. On Tuesday, the fastest driver had been David Malukas, confirming the strong overall start from teams powered by the brand. Rossi praised the team's performance after completing its planned program and also highlighted the competitiveness of his teammate Christian Rasmussen's car, who finished among the main challengers. Several regular championship contenders followed behind, with Alex Palou as the top Honda representative ahead of Will Power, Marcus Armstrong and Scott Dixon within the leading group. Track activity was marked by changing weather conditions, including wind, heavy cloud cover and intermittent rain that appeared especially during the latter part of Wednesday. Even so, drivers agreed that results should be analysed with caution as each team worked through different testing plans and setups, not necessarily chasing outright performance. Among the standout performances, Romain Grosjean showed solid pace in his return to short ovals, while Caio Collet bounced back from the accident he suffered the previous day to complete a positive session. In contrast, Mick Schumacher experienced an inconsistent day, and Joseph Newgarden finished further down the order than expected after showing competitiveness in other sessions. The negative note came with Marcus Ericsson's accident. The driver lost control of the car after feeling a sudden failure mid-corner and ended up hitting the wall. Although rain was falling at the time, the Swede stated the incident was not related to the damp conditions, but rather to a mechanical issue that will need to be analysed using team data. Ericsson exited the car under his own power and was quickly cleared by medical staff, although his car was unable to return to the track. Another major focus of the test involved the tyres. Firestone introduced a new, wider right front compound designed to prevent failures seen last season. In addition, IndyCar is expected to share the track with NASCAR when it returns to Phoenix, which uses a different tyre supplier, something that could alter track behaviour and introduce new variables for teams. In conclusion, the test provided positive signs ahead of the championship opener, although many questions remain unanswered, as lap times and results do not fully reflect each team's true potential under race conditions. Among the standout performances, Romain Grosjean showed solid pace in his return to short ovals, while Caio Collet bounced back from the accident he suffered the previous day to complete a positive session. In contrast, Mick Schumacher experienced an inconsistent day, and Joseph Newgarden finished further down the order than expected after showing competitiveness in other sessions. The negative note came with Marcus Ericsson's accident. The driver lost control of the car after feeling a sudden failure mid-corner and ended up hitting the wall. Although rain was falling at the time, the Swede stated the incident was not related to the damp conditions, but rather to a mechanical issue that will need to be analysed using team data. Ericsson exited the car under his own power and was quickly cleared by medical staff, although his car was unable to return to the track. Another major focus of the test involved the tyres. Firestone introduced a new, wider right front compound designed to prevent failures seen last season. In addition, IndyCar is expected to share the track with NASCAR when it returns to Phoenix, which uses a different tyre supplier, something that could alter track behaviour and introduce new variables for teams. In conclusion, the test provided positive signs ahead of the championship opener, although many questions remain unanswered, as lap times and results do not fully reflect each team's true potential under race conditions.
Hey everyone, just wrapped up. 33's just wrapped up day 2 at Phoenix. Actually rain interrupted in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. But yeah, I was pretty unhappy with the car this morning. Just wasn't really comfortable, but we really tuned her up in the afternoon and feel a lot better. So yeah, all good. Just hopefully had a couple of good qual runs in practice and when the race comes. But great to be back here at Phoenix. A lot of fans out here today, which was really cool. And yeah, see what happens at the race. I'll see you at St. Pete.
Alright guys, the open test is complete here at Phoenix Raceway. Everything went pretty good, so I'm really happy with the car. The first day we had a couple of small setbacks, but nothing too major, and then today with the weather delays and trying to find the setup took a little bit longer, but at the end really confident, really comfortable in what we've been able to accomplish in engineering, and excited to be coming back here in March.
Yeah, same thing from my side. I think yesterday some setbacks, also for driving mistakes a little bit, but I think today we were able to turn it around, and I think ended the test on a high and also comfortable with the car, and I think how we ended up approaching obviously the race weekend in a couple of weeks. But apart from that, I think next week we have St. Pete season opener. Really excited for that, and I hope you guys keep supporting us, and I see you guys next week in St. Pete.
See you next week.